So tell us about time management then. Like, how did you go about structuring your weeks, your days? And maybe that changed, I imagine, throughout the course of the HSC. So perhaps when it was a little bit less intense, there was more balance in favor of those social activities. But talk to us about that. You went through the pandemic, so I don't know if there were a lot of 18ths, but talk about balancing, party, study, sport, your responsibilities. Give us the practical insights there. What did a typical week look like for you throughout those different sections of the year?
Yeah, definitely. So I think my main overall kind of advice, top tip, what helped me through year 12 is definitely organization. I know it's kind of everything that everyone blabs on about in year 12, but when you have lots of commitments and if you have a leadership position in the school, you actually realize how much time you do have when you plan your day out, you plan your week out or your weekend out. If you block out spots to do things, if you block out, okay, this half an hour, I'm just going to cram out the speech, get it done for assembly, and then I can go on to studying biology or PDHPE. So that's probably my big top tip is just organize your day out in time segments, and that you actually realize how much time, oh, I have half an hour here to just relax, just talk to friends, go on a walk, and I'm not going to be stressed instead of, oh, let me try and do this in an hour, but it takes 2 hours. And in terms of the year schedule, so in the beginning of the year, it was probably the height of my school captaincy. So kind of getting everyone back to school, introducing prefect initiatives and kind of introducing the prefects. So I guess my study was kind of second place. But in saying that, it was still obviously most important. But I would just schedule my day. So I have in my freeze, I would designate a subject or designate just ticking off the easy things that I could do. And then at home, it'd be the study. And I guess, yeah, going into lockdown kind of took a spin of things. It kind of better and worse made it easier to study because you had so much more time. You didn't have to travel to school. And some classes, if they were a little bit boring, you could kind of just write some palm cards or kind of do some other side things that you could do. And then I guess coming up to trials, we had them online, which was quite difficult. But yeah, I think a good thing that we did in my school, which really helped, was we had online study sessions. So we'd all go on Zoom after school and we'd study together till about 9 or 10 at night. And it kind of just felt like you were in the library. So it was quite nice. Yeah, so we just had it open for our year group the whole night. Everyone loved going to the library after school. It definitely helped our year get through trials and beginning of HSC.
Yeah, no, that's some great advice. And something you alluded to there was kind of giving yourself permission to take some time off. And you talked about, not feeling guilty. And I think a lot of people fall into that trap of feeling like they always should be doing something. And even though their body and mind is telling them, hey, I need a break, I'm a little bit burnt out, they still try and persist with what they're doing. But often you end up doing that in a half-hearted way and you're distracted and, you're between, YouTube videos and on your phone, on the apps, and then you're going back to your study. And you might do that for like 5 hours and not really get anything substantial done. Whereas if you go in with the mindset of having 2 to 3 hours where you are going to do a solid amount of work, and then you allow yourself to have 1 to 2 hours off or any structure that works for you, you'll actually probably get a lot more done because it's focused and concentrated. So yeah, how important was that for you? And is that something you always did, or is that something you introduced into year 12?
Yeah, definitely. Such an important thing to kind of consider. I was definitely one of those people in year 11 who just would sit down and try and just do it. But I would be looking at my phone, or if I went on a walk, I'd be stressing about the English quotes that I haven't memorized or the maths homework I haven't done for the next day. But in year 12, when my timetable was jam-packed, it kind of forced me to be like, okay, I only have an hour this afternoon. If I don't get this stuff done, I'm going to fall behind. And in saying that, I would have training after school, and I'd be like, okay, just everything out of my mind, like just focus on training, relax, play with friends, enjoy the sport that is so enjoyable. And then as soon as I get home, I have an hour, let's smash it out, go to bed next day. So I guess what you're saying is that I completely agree with is just designate time to take time off. That's the biggest thing. And it's so hard, and I definitely struggled with it, just to switch your mind off study because it's all you think about for about 12 months. But yeah, if you just designate time that, okay, my favorite TV show is on at 7 p.m. It's an hour long. Let me designate that hour just to relax. And then the next 2 hours after that show, then I'll smash out homework and go to bed. So I think, yeah, just trying your best to switch your brain off and then get back into it is really helps the study and helps you kind of enjoy your last year of school.
Yeah, of course, and that's so important to enjoy it. Like, you've got to savor the moment. You know, as I've said in a few conversations like this, like year 12 it's a rare year in that, yes, it is probably the most stress you'll have because of how much pressure we put on the HSE, and you know, there's some merits to having that pressure there because of what it can enable after school, but also it's not the end of the world if you kind of bomb out. But at least cherish the time you have with your peers and the fact that you're in an environment that you can't really get anywhere else. Uni is a very different kind of thing, and then the workplace, obviously very different. So you do have to cherish the social presence that you can actually obtain. And I know it was probably hard with the pandemic, and that threw a spanner in the works there, but it is a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. So it's important to make the most of those experiences.